I'd like to call the meeting to order and wish everybody a happy new year, safe and healthy new year. Sancy, could we have a roll call, please?
Sure. Hold the door. Oh, Robin Barker. Here. Cheryl Bigelow.
Here.
Judy Borey.
Here.
Barbara Fitzgerald.
Here.
Catherine Meek.
Here.
Nola Perkins is absent. And Vera Walters.
Here.
And Pam and I are here. We have a quorum.
Okay, acceptance of the agenda. Can I get a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Okay. Thank you. I just sat. We're buds. We need to sit together.
I'm sorry, who made the motion? Okay, Barbara. And who did the second? Catherine. Okay, Robin Barker. Cheryl Bigelow.
Yes.
Judy Borey.
Yes.
Barbara Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Catherine Meek.
Yes.
Nola Perkins is absent. And Vera Walters.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, can I get an acceptance of the minutes for the November 14th, 2024 regular meeting?
I move to accept the minutes for November 14th, 2024 regular meeting.
Second.
Robin Barker.
Yes.
Cheryl Bigelow.
Yes.
Judy Borey.
Yes.
Barbara Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Catherine Meek.
Yes.
Nola Perkins is absent. And Vera Walters.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And so it's called to the public. Since we don't have any public, we'll move on to the correspondence and communications. Pam?
Yeah, there's none tonight.
Okay, and librarians report?
Yes, thank you. Pam Harrison, Library Director, and we have a pretty long librarians report tonight, so get comfortable.
All right.
All right, as normal, start off with our monthly reports. This is for November and December 2024. Notable things would be that circulation was down slightly in December, but patron visits were up. So that is actually a trend that you're going to see tonight. An outreach highlight that we had in November was the grand opening of Painted Sky Park, where we had 562 people visit our mobile library. And in December, we had the Radiance Community Clubhouse opening down in the new part of Apache Junction, and there was approximately 200 people that visited the bookmobile or the mobile library at that event. We also had a lot of neighborhood events in December, so you'll see here where it says adult 19 plus offsite, Dolce Vita.
Wow.
They really like to
Good grief.
hear about our city services. And thanks to Megan Carbiner, who does those neighborhood visits for us. And those are the highlights of the stats. Did anybody have anything that they wanted to ask about stats? It was pretty normal. Okay. We had last time somebody ask about home delivery services. So we have a flyer that's out available for the public to grab, and it says, "Trouble getting to the library? Library books delivered free to your door. Contact Outreach Services." We have an application that they can fill out. Tells us important information, even if it's long-term or temporary, what types of materials they want to receive. They can choose from different genres of material. And then
Pam, on
we
that.
have our intake list for our staff, which is really important. It tells us that we are actually introducing them to all of our services, including our downloadable services, which could be a solution for some of these people that can't make it to the library. And there's also the Arizona State Library Talking Book program. We also have the books by mail service still, which is large print books only, and that goes through the Postal Service. But if they would like to have home delivery service, Outreach Services will deliver the materials on the third Thursday of every month once they have signed up. And did somebody have a question?
Yes, I wanted to ask, is there language that can be requested on that form? Or, like, I have a neighbor who's Russian.
So they want
So
Russian
They're
materials?
looking- Yeah,
Unfortunately, since we don't have any Russian materials in our collection, we wouldn't be able to provide
okay.
that for them.
Okay, I just didn't know if we had other languages that we
Just Spanish, and a very few, some children's books that are in a couple different languages, but they're very sparse.
could, okay.
Yeah.
And who delivers?
That would be somebody from our outreach services team. Megan, River.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know who delivers, you know.
Megan, River, or Cheryl.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Not me.
Would you take volunteers for that?
Um,
Is that a acceptable volunteer position?
well, I'd have to get back to you on that.
Okay. Yeah,
I have
I'm
to
sure
think that
there's
one
some
through.
liability
Yeah,
issues with that.
yeah.
Okay,
Especially if you're going to the home.
yeah,
I don't know if they'd feel
gotcha.
a little bit different. But
Have
you just want to
had-
volunteer.
have
She,
you-
she volunteered, she meant to volunteer for Paws and Claws, but she instead volunteered for Pinal County Animal Control.
My mistake.
I'm sorry, you were saying?
What was my question? Never mind.
It'll come back.
It'll come back.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you to tell your story. And I will show you later on, I'll tell you about how many people we have in this program right now and what the
That's what
statistics
I
look like.
wanted to
Okay,
ask.
yeah, that's on
That
another
was it.
slide.
Yeah.
Thank you. And they can also do a hold request. So if they want to request specific titles, Megan will coordinate that with them. So it's a new service. We've only had it now for a few months, but it is getting some attention, and I expect it to grow bigger, and we are really pleased to be able to offer that.
Is this on the website?
It is.
Is there any other public information on that? Where else is it advertised?
Just on our website and on the flyer at the library.
And we have
And
some
of
at
course,
the
if they
chamber.
call, we can help them over the phone with it. Yep.
And I've picked up some and taken them into the chamber.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yep.
Great, yep.
So we're handing them out there, too.
Okay. And I think she might have done some social media posts on it when it first started, but I don't know if there's been anything in the last month or two.
I must have missed it.
So looking at some past programming. Oh, actually, I wanted to stop for a second. I wanted to go back to my other PowerPoint because I wanted to talk a little bit more about other stats. Okay, so last year, if you were here, you might remember I did a comparison of the year prior to the past 2 years, basically. So now that we're in 2025, we did a comparison on different statistics for 2023 and 2024. So this is physical circulation, meaning it's physical items that you can only get at the library. But it can be items from that our patrons check out that we get from other libraries in the Pinal County system.
Boy, that's interesting.
So it was interesting to see that everything was up, and then all of a sudden in September, we went down.
Opposite.
That's, yeah.
Weather
Kids
turned
went
really
back to
nice.
school.
Well, and it was an election year, too. It came out early.
And it kind of makes sense because of the fact that
School.
we have winter visitors here, January through April or so, and then summer reading starts, and summer reading gained a lot of traction this
So are
past
the
year.
winter visitors.
So the fall does tend to be
in
our slower
October.
season. And here is e-content. So this is electronic, digital downloads, or
Same trends.
it is
Yeah, it is.
basically the same.
Yeah.
Gets to September, and then it has a falling out.
Next year, it would be kind of interesting to see all three and see
Yeah.
if there's been any change of any kind.
Okay. Sansy's making note of that.
So you'll have to add.
She's my graph,
2025 to this.
my graph maker or chart maker. What's that?
Like leave 2020, do 2023, 24, and 25.
You want 4 years? That's a lot of data. Oh, 3, okay.
You'll just add 2025. to
Yes.
this Slide. That'd
Yeah.
be pretty cool to see that.
To see if there's a pattern.
Exactly, yeah. And then we have, okay, this is in-house computer use, which is interesting because it's the exact opposite.
Cautious at that
Just the opposite.
Computer use rose during this time, and then on the next slide, you'll see that patron visits also rose in the fall. But circulation went down.
Anything out.
So it seems like what we need to do in the fall, since we are getting more people than we've had, is that we need to do a bigger push on displays and recommendations, and pushing our digital
That kind of
services.
tells you something. doesn't
Yep, it's very interesting. And then study room reservations, I think I've told you in the past that those have been steadily going up. Universal class was asked about, so here is last year versus this year. We went way down in the summer, not sure why.
So,
But
it
then
says,
we went way back up in the fall.
it says number of logins. So,
Yes,
but
universal-
that doesn't mean that they've actually completed a class.
Exactly. This is how many times somebody logs in. Yeah.
Do you have a way to monitor how many people actually finish a class?
No, we don't, no. They probably do corporate, but I don't know if they would tell me that.
Because of the way that the funding for that subscription is, there's a real problem.
Yeah.
At the end of the fiscal year. That's when I had a problem and lost my
Yeah, well, that's when it
access to
switched.
And so I
So
think
that's probably what happened, that's right, because Universal Class used to be accessible through Libby, and then Libby decided to drop that subscription, so we had to sign up through them directly through the vendor. And there was like a month or so that it got really confusing and it wasn't working right. So, yeah, thanks for reminding me about that. I guess that was during the summer. Are you still using it, Barbara? Okay,
I think that's probably the time when I was trying to get in and I was having a hard time
okay.
logging in. I haven't tried though in the last month or so. I'm gonna
Okay.
come to the universal class next week, actually.
Yes, there's a Universal Class and Google training next week, so I hope to attend. I want to.
Do we have to sign up for that one?
No,
Or
that's
that
a
one's
walk-in.
Okay.
And lastly, home delivery. So I was talking to Megan today about numbers on this, and basically these numbers are actually what got delivered, not how many subscribers we have, or how many subscribers got a delivery. So I asked her why was November nobody, and that's because she was out, and I guess the other two, I think everybody got sick is what happened. And so they didn't do the November delivery, but they instead did it in December, which is why December is a lot more. But Megan then told me today that she has 9 people signed up for home delivery. So we started off, with 1. So every month we've gotten 1 or 2 new people, which, we're working on that, so. Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, so that was it for this one. So I'll go back to my other PowerPoint. Okay, so now we're going to look at some past programs. Did anybody go to the Highland Holiday event?
I did.
Yay! Was it fun?
I did, I liked it.
Good. There was a lot going on. It was, I believe, 4 hours long, so of course you could come to what you're interested in. But these dancers up here were from the Arizona Academy of Highland Dance. And they performed 7 dances, and they had a session in the middle where audience members could learn some of the Highland Scottish dance steps. So I guess that was, you can see all the kids up there having a good time. And then, of course, we had Santa Claus. Some things that aren't pictured included creating an ornament. And I've seen every staff person in the library had one on their desk, was given to them except for me. I kept meaning to ask, where's my cow? But I forgot. So I think they just couldn't get into my office because it was locked. But yeah, they had these cute Highland cow ornaments. They were made out of wood, and they could decorate them with Sharpies and with a jingle bell on it. And on the back, it said Apache Junction Library 2024 on it, so it was kind of cute. Then we had sublimation, which is like a transfer service, transfer from paper art to art on an object. So we provided some gifts for people that they could give. So this young lady, she chose a tote bag, and then she chose her design, and they used the heat press, I believe is what they use, to do the sublimation. And here's a water bottle. But they could choose from a pillowcase, a tumbler, earrings, bags, and a mouse pad. So, free gifts. And they get to learn the sublimation process. And then we also had Christmas karaoke. Super cute.
That's JJ. Is that JJ?
Oh, it does look like him, but I don't think so. I think it's a doppelganger. Yep. But I recognize these kids. They come in a lot, and they're really, really cute kids. And then there was cookie decorating. We didn't get a picture of that, but it was a very full day, and we had 255 in attendance, so
Wow.
well-attended event.
That's great.
And of course, this was made possible by the Friends of the Library and the Apache Junction Mounted Rangers. Another popular program that we had was holiday photos and cards, and this actually, the first program of this, I believe, took place in November. They had 39 attendees at the first session, and it was so popular, they decided to do again in December, where we had 22 attendees. And Chris in our makerspace, he explained how to make the cards using the studio, using the Cricut and a poster printer. And then the cards were made available the next day. So we had a lot of people coming in to get their pictures taken, and then the next day they could come in and get their cards. So they used cameras, lightings, and backdrops to snap and print photos on the spot. So it was really cute. I was working the desk one night, and I saw a few families come in and do like family photos. Nice. So very nice.
I got to make a quick comment on that poster thing. Oh my gosh, is it amazing? I designed something in Canva, and Chris is unbelievable,
Yeah.
too.
He's very patient.
Again, we have the best people at the library. They're so helpful.
Thank you.
First time I used that poster machine, and then he gave me the idea to go to Office Max to get it laminated. I never would have thought of that, and
Yeah.
I have a chamber discount card that saved me so much money. So
Oh, good. There's a little plug for the chamber. Okay, restrooms. Our restrooms are finished. There's just a few things on a punch list that need to be completed, just final touches. But here is one of the youth restrooms, and you might recall those restrooms, we were just replacing the counters and adding the step-ups. We don't have a picture of the baby changing tables, but they look like baby changing tables. And the hand dryers were taken off the wall. Everything was just spruced up, so those turned out very nice. And then a sensor water faucets. This is before and after of the women's restroom.
wow.
So we went from our terracotta floors and a bench so you could sit down and take a nap in the bathroom to the baby changing table, and this one hasn't been replaced yet. That's the old one, but we're getting new ones. So yeah, we got nice shiny tile on the walls, and on the floor there's more of a matte surface tile on the floor that's a little bit darker, and then some mocha-colored partitions. And the men's is basically the same thing, so they're just matching. So really pleased with the way they have turned out. Much-needed 40-year renovation. Tax aid appointments. Did you make your AARP Foundation tax aid appointment? If you didn't, You're sadly going to be disappointed that they all filled up today.
I bet they did.
We opened registration on January 2nd at 9 a.m. and today, I think I looked at it around 2:00 p.m. and they were gone. They will be adding some more tax appointments in February, but it's dependent on how many volunteer tax preparers AARP can get trained by then. So we unfortunately have to tell people we don't have any until we know more information about that, but.
How many did we have this year?
Right now, I think this is 600 appointments. And then they'll add a couple hundred more. Yeah, if they have the preparers.
Incredible.
Yeah,
What a great service.
it is, it really is. And I found out that we are the only library that does the registration process for AARP. All of the other libraries that do it in the area, patrons have to call AARP. So they're really happy that we do registration for them.
Is there a waiting list then, or are,
No, we don't do a waiting list on these. It's if somebody calls in and someone has canceled their appointment and they get lucky, they'll get the spot. But like I said, once they know how many preparers they have, they'll add some additional appointments in February. At like the very end of January, beginning of February. Usually they add a couple hundred, but I know this year they said they were having a harder time getting volunteers. So hopefully we'll have about 800 appointments when all is said and done. Staff Development Day was a great success. We had Maricopa County Corporate College come and do 3 hours of training with us on diversity, equity, and inclusion, resiliency, and we discovered our core values for the library and actually redid our mission statement, which we'll be implementing next year when we do our strategic plan. So it was a full day of learning. In the afternoon, we had a session on compassion fatigue with our EAP provider. And then, of course, we had some fun. We did stuff a plush. Everybody got to stuff their plushy animal. We should have included a picture.
We sure should have.
Yeah.
Next time.
Fancy made a bulldog.
Yeah.
I made a dachshund. So yeah, everybody did that, and we had some other fun activities, and of course, lots of snacks and food during the day. So everybody had a really good time, and hopefully we can do it again. It's but the first one that we've ever had that since I've been with the library, which has been 10 years, and I think it's been probably almost 20 years since we've had one. So it's very fun. And now the library reading garden design. So this is the proposed area where the library reading garden will be. We are in contract negotiations right now with a selected vendor. So this is the east side of the library, and the garden is going to be approximately 5,000 square feet. It will be completely fenced, and access will only be provided to visitors from inside the library, so when we're closed, it won't be accessible. We want to really make sure that we preserve our views of the Superstition Mountains from the Mountain View Room, so that is a really important factor in this. And we hope to have a seed library demonstration garden, an amphitheater, some shaded reading areas, dark sky lighting, paved walkways, irrigation, and drought-friendly plants are our requirements. So if all goes well, we'll hopefully be starting this process in February, but I will keep you informed.
So is the, can you go back to that slide?
Sure.
Is the fencing gonna be like from the building itself, like by the glass windows and stuff, out into the dirt?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
The fencing, so is it gonna be fenced like attached to the building? So like that whole area, like
It's
where
either
those
gonna have
tables
to-
are now.
Unless
that'll
they
all be
come up with
fenced in.
another solution. I don't know if they'll make like a small wall and then put the fence. I don't know
Interesting,
exactly.
so that's gonna, that whole area after this will be blocked off from certain people just hanging out, right?
It will be just because it will only be accessible from the inside. So yeah, during the day, they can certainly come inside and go through and come back out. Yeah. Yep.
Will there be like a drinking fountain out there or something?
That's nothing,
benches.
I mean, we're gonna have, that's my next slide. We are gonna have some stakeholder meetings with staff and, you know, people that live here and people that use the library. So I'm sure additional things will be added that were in the original scope of work. So a drinking fountain, it could definitely be something out there, but it could, after they do a site analysis, I guess we'll know more about what is feasible for that area and what is cost effective. It would be great to have a fill-up station out there. We get requests for that a lot. But there will be several phases of the design, the pre-design. That's where they map out the project and do the site analysis. That's going to take at least 10 days. Schematic design is the hardscape planning, 3D renderings, preliminary cost estimates, and a total site plan. And then design development will be refining all of that, planting, irrigation, sustainability. And of course, in between all of those design phases and processes, they're going to have a lot of stakeholder meetings and stakeholder reviews of things. So it's going to be a long process. It's probably going to be close to 30 to 35 weeks total. And then we'll see about construction hopefully in the near future, but we'll see what happens with that. So at least we'll have the design shovel ready to go. There could be grant possibilities out there that we could find.
A water circulating, recirculating pump would be really kind of neat, you know, to have some kind of water feature out there.
Yes, it would be beautiful too, if it's sustainably feasible. Yeah, I know sometimes those are,
Sustainability.
yeah. We had a water fountain or a fountain in the library.
Yeah.
We used it for a while, but it had to use, what's that, distilled water?
Yeah.
It got hard to maintain. It had to be filled every day with distilled water, and you had to remember to turn off the pump, and there was a lot to it.
It's a challenge.
It was a challenge, but it was pretty.
Just the sound of water
I know. There's nothing more serene than the sound of water.
and reading.
You could do
And
that
reading, yeah.
with a tape.
Yeah.
And just play it over the
This
loudspeaker.
Yeah, this artist concept is beautiful.
Uh-huh,
It
it
is.
is.
Thanks.
Very nice.
And that concludes the report for tonight.
That was excellent.
Thank you.
Wait, I got another question. So on that outdoor, because there's a lot of wildlife behind the library, bunches of bunnies and quails. I've actually seen roadrunners. So when this gets done, those little critters won't be able to go in that area then, right? Since it's fenced in.
Correct.
Or will they fence the critters in?
Yeah.
Or roll the fence.
They're very good
Allow
at
critters.
getting.
And I actually lied. We have one more slide. I should have put that one before thanks. Okay. I do want to show you, there were some questions about how to find out when just about finding registration. We're going to go to this is marketing, but I did want to show you before we get into new business. Oh, geez. There was questions about how to find out when future programs would be and to be able to register when they are opening. So let me get to, this is our homepage. And you know we have a paper calendar that we put out. But the question was, okay, well, how do I know what's going to come up in February? Because we don't have the February calendar out yet. And some of them you have to register for, like Bibliobytes. So what you need to do is go to upcoming events under the events tab up top here. And this brings up the calendar for all of Pinal County Library District. You can filter it by location. You can also do age group, so if you're looking for adult events. And there's even event type. I would recommend just leaving that alone because you never know what we might classify something as, unless you're really wanting to see a makerspace program or something similar. And then you can put in a date range over here. So I recommend, we already know what's on the calendar for January, so let's start with February. Whoops. How do I get out of there? There I go. Okay. So these are all of the events for adults from February 1st to February 28th that we currently know are planned and are in our calendar. We'll always be adding some things, but normally if something is a registration program, we normally know about those way in advance. And the secret to these is that you need to know that registration opens 30 days before the event takes place. So for instance, this Valentine paper crafts with the cricket. Are you doing this one, Sancy? Oh, it sounds right up your alley. Right here it says register. So this one is open because it's February 1st. Right now it's January 9th, so that's within 30 days. So you can go in here and you can go ahead and register and you'll be on the list. If you go down here further, if you go to anything that's past February 10th, like right here, February 10th, registration opens on Saturday, January 11th at 5:30 because it's 30 days out. So fancy folding workshop, if you want to do that, 5:30 tomorrow, or on 5:30 on Saturday is your day to register. Fun Van, of course, Fun Van is an adult program, but unless you have kids, you don't want to register for that. But like monthly bookish craft, a book garland, that one you can currently register for. So this is kind of your secret way into getting into those programs that might be difficult to get into. Just gotta.
How does the public know that?
So this website link, pcld.libnet.info/events, it is on our calendar. It's right up here. It's hard to see because we have so much on our calendar. We are going to change the wording a little bit because we do want people to know that it's a 30-day, that registration doesn't open up until 30 days before the event. So we're trying to think of a way to say that that is succinct, that we can fit in like a small box. But it is on here, and if you scan this QR code, it'll take you to that page where I was. But we are going to make it a little bit more clear.
But you can register clear up until the date as long as it's open.
Exactly, yeah. The problem is just that they fill up quick.
Yeah.
And then some of them have a wait list, some don't. It depends on the program. But so is there any questions about that?
Well, look at all the other, you have some great advertising tools.
I know,
So
and that is going to be our next point of business. So I will leave it at that. Sorry, I just wanted to point that out before we went to new business. So I'll let Judy take that.
Okay, and I'm going to just make a comment.
Sure.
Some of us have attended, some of the classes, and they've been really great and a lot of fun to do. And so if any of the public wants to try some of these classes, they're just a lot of fun, and you meet new people, and, we've had a great time.
Well, thank you for that plug. I saw the wood flowers. Were you in that one?
Yes,
Yeah, those
That
were beautiful.
really interesting to do. Okay, old business. So we're now down to new business.
So yes, we've got discussion on promotion of library services and public registration process. Well, I did the public registration process. I wanted to do that in the librarian's report. So, but we can look at our library services and how we are currently promoting them. We've gone over this a couple times over the past couple years. Not a whole lot has been added. but we're always open to ideas that could work. As some things just aren't good solutions for our community because either lacking a resource to do a promotion, or it can, some solutions just are too expensive as well. But this is our current list of what we do to promote and advertise our services and our programs. So just this year, the AJ Citizen newspaper began to come out again. So we do have a 2 to 3 page spread in that paper that we share with Parks and Recreation and with the police department. And I was told that 25,000 of those are printed, and it's 3 times a year. And those go inside the Independent.
Oh, yeah.
So those people get those in that paper. Otherwise, they can be picked up at the library and at Parks, and I'm sure probably Police Department has those as well. So we currently have one out that covers January through April. The city has started, the marketing department, communications and marketing department, they've started to add our bigger events to the city website calendar, which I think has been helpful, because that is something that you can subscribe to. When things get added to it, you'll get an alert. They're hoping that they could eventually put all of our events on there, but right now, they're doing the bigger ones, or special things like the Christmas event. The city's marketing department, they're also creating a double-sided marketing piece for the library, and I think they're doing this for all public-facing departments. And I haven't seen it yet because it's still in process, but after we vet that to make sure everything is accurate, they're going to provide those and distribute them at some of the local bigger events where people attend. So that's something that's coming out of that new department. We have our monthly paper event calendars, which we give to the chamber, and the Head Start come over and get a big pile of those as well. And, we give out hundreds of those every month at the library. We have our monthly event calendar digitally shared with Apache Junction School District. They have an electronic distribution tool that they use, and so they share it on there to their families. We have outreach to our local events. Sometimes it's with the mobile library, sometimes we're just tabling an event. We have our Wildberry newsletter, which tells you the new library materials that we receive each week. We currently have 1,012 active subscribers to that, and they get that email weekly. And then we have a bi-weekly newsletter where we have 1,370 active subscribers, and that one tells about, it highlights different programs and services. It can't cover everything. It's only like a 2-page newsletter. We have a QR code to both of these newsletters in the library's new patron information brochure, and this is given to everybody that comes to the service desk and gets a library card for the first time. We actually go over the brochure in full with each customer if they're willing to stand there and let us do that. And we do ask them at that time if they'd like to sign up for one of those newsletters, which is how we're getting most of our subscribers. We have the welcome wagon bags that the city is providing to the new communities down in the south part of Apache Junction. We've been doing those, I think, about quarterly for those families.
Could that QR code be put on the library card? There'd be a cost maybe
Yes.
for it, but I'm just wondering.
I don't think so, just because of the space required. We're actually doing new library card, we're doing library card purchasing right now. You know what, I don't know. You probably could, I just don't know how big it could be, or how big it needs to be, since we have a lot of information on there,
Oh,
but.
yeah, there's no way it would fit on the card. There's no way a QR code would fit on the library card.
Yeah, it's pretty full, but I like that idea.
That would,
Yeah.
They have different choices.
We do, of course, frequent posts and occasional what are called reels on Instagram, where we have 1,326 followers as of last week. We have 4,600 followers on Facebook, which is our main social media posting platform. We do our HOA presentations, mostly in the winter months, to different neighborhoods in the community. We have in-house digital information kiosks that we post flyers and information on, and those get changed out regularly. And we have occasionally a post on the city marquee, but that's kind of limited just because it needs to be something that doesn't have a lot of detail, or else you just can't read it from your car. And in the past, we have tried sharing some of our events on the kiosk that's over at the MGC, and that just, the sustainability just wasn't there. It was hard to coordinate. And we did try some paid Facebook ads, but it didn't look like the reach that we got on those was worth the cost. One idea that I got from the digital marketing coordinator for the city was to put all of our programs in Facebook as what are called events. If you ever go to the events page, we do it for some of our programs, but his suggestion was to do all of them. But we have a lot of programs, and that takes a lot of time.
You gotta hire somebody for that.
Yeah, but it's a good idea. It's just, yeah, a lot of time. So those are our current efforts at advertising. If you have any
Great, looks
comments,
good. Looks good.
questions, ideas.
With your Facebook events, maybe you would want to put on there the ones that you're not getting great attendance at yet.
Okay.
You know, to advertise the lower turnout ones, to see if you can generate some interest there.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, if it already fills up as soon as it opens up.
It doesn't need any more advertising.
Exactly,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Are there any other questions, or?
Looks good.
And this is something, did you get this in your packet of materials? No. Can we send this to them? If we can send this to you guys, that way you'll have it, and if you think of anything or want to refer back to it at any point, maybe something will spark, you might see something somewhere. I'm not, Catherine, I don't know if the museum does anything that's different that has
Our
success.
advertising needs improvement. I finally recently started begging they add some of our fundraising events to events. So the Native American Festival finally got put on Facebook as an event.
Yeah, it was,
Okay.
yeah.
And did that
so
increase?
If your friends are saying they're going to it or they're interested, then Facebook says, hey, your friend is going to this, maybe you should.
Interested or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does do that. You'll
Yeah,
get
you
an
can
alert.
register. I know I get registrations through my event things.
Are all of you on Facebook? Just curious? Not really? Some of you? Yeah.
Good way
Blue
to do
Sky.
business.
It's a time suck.
I know.
Yeah, you go down a rabbit
Check it.
hole really
I
quickly.
just use it for business.
Yeah, without without a newspaper anymore, that makes it hard because we know that was a popular means of finding out information with our community.
Yeah,
Well,
and
I
the
still think-
independent, if you hit the time to get the advertising done, then it's really hard to time it. So our first Christmas bazaar, or Christmas holiday boutique, it was happening the week that the advertisement came out for the second one. And
So you-
so, yeah, that's 2 weeks away.
Right.
It's not this weekend. It's, with it being a monthly newspaper, it's challenging. Unless you've got somebody who's just right on top of it and knows exactly when it's coming out and plans
I
ahead.
still get the Independent. Doesn't everybody get the Independent?
Once a month.
Once a month.
Yeah, once a month.
And the Courier is also once a
Oh,
month.
and the Courier, yep, that's another one. Where is that one printed? Do you know if it's East Valley, right?
Right.
The Courier, yeah, the Independent's here.
I can find out and give you a call and let you know where.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Yeah, I was actually looking at your listing. If there's a great idea, I can take that. too.
Yeah, I know. Feel free to steal.
I do notice that when I come up to the city council meetings and during the call to public, some people come out.
Yeah,
You get 5 extra people.
yeah.
Are there any other questions or comments for Pam?
I just think it's a cool library.
I,
Everybody there is wonderful.
yeah.
Everybody just needs to visit to see how cool we are
Yes.
And helpful.
and check out materials.
Yeah,
Especially in the fall.
Yeah, exactly. September through December, please. No, I was kidding. Yeah.
When I talk to people who have recently moved to the area, I'm like, go check out the seed library, check out the library.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, I tell everybody where I go to.
word of mouth is important.
Very much.
Okay. If we're all done, we'll go on to requests for future agenda items. Does anybody have a future agenda item or a follow-up that they'd like to? You have any suggestions?
Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
Thank you. Keep visiting.
Maybe a meet and greet, the staff would be a kind of a neat thing to do,
Oh.
too.
With
with-
patrons?
With patrons.
Oh, we do that every day at the service.
It's true. But an
Maybe
actual-
if we provide cake.
Yeah, but an actual event, where you
Yeah.
meet all the staff.
I'm going to write it down because you never know. It
Okay.
could-
Food always attracts people.
Yeah.
Yeah, when's the library's birthday?
I don't know what the exact day is, but,
Oh, I have to remember.
An
that.
anniversary party,
It's-
maybe.
well,
Birthday party would be
Birthday,
grand.
yeah.
we opened in '86, so 2026 will be 40 years.
Definitely need a
Yeah,
party for that.
somewhere we,
Their birthday party.
Yeah.
Yay.
Now,
yeah, somewhere we have the date.
I just compared my library card with Cheryl's, and mine is very old. She said I need to get a new one. Do I need to get a new one?
You don't need to. If it still works, you're
It still
good.
works.
Yeah, if you want a pretty one, we can get you a prettier
Yeah,
one.
hers is much prettier.
Well, because
than
I
yours.
actually had gotten an email that I had to renew mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I
But
renewed it, I got a new card.
But like some people memorize their number. Like I know my barcode number. I don't want to get a new card. That's going to mess everything up in my brain.
Oh, it doesn't keep the same number?
No, you can't get the same number. Then you have to reprogram your,
Yeah, you gotta go through all the, yeah. no,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, no.
Much
I'll keep
prettier
my
than
old
mine.
it might be interesting, you're talking about meet and greet. I met Jason recently,
yes.
and he's been here a year, and I didn't know who he was.
We had him come to a meeting.
Hello, goodbye.
Whoops. Yeah, we had him come to a meeting
Oh.
right soon after he was hired.
How
So
many
yeah,
of you
maybe
have been in the back room?
you were probably on vacation.
I was.
Probably,
I
yeah.
was maybe.
But you're correct though. Yeah, I try to bring the new people.
Oh, that's.
We haven't had any new people lately, so which is good.
Which is good.
Yeah, everybody's
How about
staying.
River,
River has come. Yep,
where have I been?
yep. Yep, River came.
Okay.
Sorry. You want me to invite him again?
No, I can go to the library and introduce myself.
Yeah. We'll just do a private,
A private
meet and greet for Vera.
Private meet and greet. And that will be the meet and greet Vera. We'll have a private meet and greet.
Anything else for the agenda? Or
Judy's like, we're never going to end this meeting.
Okay, we're done.
It hadn't occurred to me before, but that's interesting that Inauguration Day is Martin Luther King Day. Did anybody else notice that?
Yeah,
I didn't.
yeah, which is, yeah. Kind of oxymoronic, isn't it?
Okay. If there's nothing else, I'm going to adjourn the meeting.